everyone. How are you all doing? I hope that you're doing amazing and fantastic and wonderful. Sorry, I am so sleepy. Today we had like a lot of rain, and like the weather was actually like rainy here in Oklahoma. And so I think the high today was like 52 or something like that. So it actually felt like fall, and all I wanted to do was curl up in this reading chair and read and sleep and take a nap. But I had to work and, adult stuff. How's everybody doing? How has your October been so far? I want to know. October has been crazy, crazy busy just for like all of the things. All of the things. Tomorrow I actually have a author event where Book and Bloom, the local indie bookshop that I based Literary Stitches off of, they are asking me to come and be a part of their book club because they read Deadly Drafts, which I thought was awesome. So I'm pretty excited about that. Good morning. That shows you how tired I am. Good evening, Alicia. Happy book club night. Hi, Carrie. Oh, I love you so much. Hello, Renee. I just finished my first week of training to be a branch clerk at my library. That's so awesome. You're like getting to be surrounded by books. That sounds glorious. Absolutely glorious. I promise I will try not to yawn this whole entire time. So tonight we are chatting about magical midlife in Glimmerspell. It is the first book in the Hot Flash Homicides by Addison Moore. So while I read the synopsis, I would love it if you guys would put your Clio ratings in the comments so I can see how you guys, what you guys thought about the book. So it says, after catching my husband in bed with another woman, I gave him the heave-ho, put our house on the market, and moved away to an enchanting little town for a brand new start. What I didn't count on was the fact that enchanting little town might just be enchanted. Glimmerspell is rumored to be home to vampires, werewolves, and fae, but those are just simply gimmicks to lure tourists to their snowy little town, aren't they? Nevertheless, I got a job at the haunted book barn where my niece films her infamous video blog, Murder, Mayhem, and Baking. She somehow wrangled me into helping out with whipping up the sweet treats. And in the middle of filming an episode, a hot flash strikes, and I'm transported to another time, place, and another day entirely. Midlife in Glimmerspell can be a real killer. So, what were your thoughts on this? I will let you know that I am giving it a 1 star. And I just there were lots of things. Let's see, Alicia. Sorry, this book didn't hit for me. 2 Penelope Cleos. I like that. Penelope Cleos. She's over there on the floor right now looking at me like I'm crazy. 2, just too much poured into one book. 1, sleazy, trashy dime. Yes, dollar store novel. Enjoyed the story. Not a fan of the AI narration. Yeah, I have a whole entire thing to say about that. And Renee, 1.5 stars. I wanted to love the concept, but it didn't hit for me at all. So, agreed. I wanted to love the concept too, right? Because rereading that synopsis made me remember why I chose it to be one of the choices in the first place, because I thought, oh, this It's gonna be magical. There's gonna be, like, all different kinds of fun things going on, baking, like, a live show. I thought, like, you can't go wrong with it. I was very, very excited for it, and yet it was not what I thought it was going to be at all. Um And I want to preface this with I am all for women being as genuinely themselves as possible. Um, I am, their sexuality or how much they want to go and do things, again, totally cool for them. Um, but I feel like sex was just pushed way too much in this book, or like the idea of just being like man crazy, boy crazy, the fact that we have a teenager that's pregnant in it, and then like they never really explain why she's pregnant or like how she's pregnant, and like it was no big deal. um that drove me bonkers, just completely insane. um and I'll say that as I'm reading, I first started reading it uh on my Kindle, right? Um and I was like, okay, I'm going to read it on my Kindle and try and get some stuff done. But then I was like, oh, I'm not going to have time for this. Let me get the audiobook. And so I got the audiobook and I was listening to it. And if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw my story feed. Um I got frustrated because I was like, it said like, instead of saying co-ed, it was like co-ed, or it would say like minivan weird or caravan weird. And I was like, what is going on? Like, what is this issue? And then I looked it up, and it is virtual voice AI narrator. And I was like, oh, it's AI narration. And like there there are things about that that's like twofold, right? Like I was talking to another like book reviewer about AI narration, and she's like, I understand for indie authors who, are just starting out and don't have a lot of money, um like AI narration gets your hands in a subset of people that, predominantly read audiobooks. While I totally agree with that. Um And I have for accessibility, things for students, I am all for AI narration because I'm wanting the kids in my district to learn, and I'm wanting them to be able to be, read to in their native tongue, and, but when it comes to this, like, the reason why my book Deadly Drafts does not have a audiobook yet is because since I self-published Deadly Drafts, I paid for a editor. And so it was either pay for an editor or pay for an audiobook narrator. Whereas for Death on Deck, since I went through traditionally published, they paid for the editor, and then I used that money to pay for I hired a retired reading teacher to read my first book. Um, and so I I can totally understand that. It's not cheap to pay someone to spend 20 plus hours reading your book. It's not an inexpensive thing. So while I understand that, it was kind of hard for me to get into the audiobook, and there just kept being so many issues with it that in the end, I think I was listening at like 2.5 speed. Um, uh, I don't want to read a shower scene in a cozy. Yeah, especially since the shower scene was very much like, bam, shower scene. She just somehow happened to pop up in the middle of his shower. Um, for me, it was a 2 or a 2.5. I didn't hate it, but it kind of felt like a first draft, maybe. Yeah, like I feel like things could have been fleshed out more. and the fact that they didn't know who the dad was. Yeah, I was like, "What? I'm I'm so confused." Um, I wonder if the teen mom was some kind of surrogate. I don't read paranormal enough to know if that is a monster thing. Okay, so I've read dozens upon dozens of paranormal books, and I've never had seen that be a thing with it. Um, and so I just thought that was very, very interesting. And we're sort of pushed into um our main character's world really quickly with the cheating of her husband, and you sort of see that go down, which I thought was okay. Like, I was like, oh, this is interesting. um and then we slide right into Glimmerspell, and she walks into her niece's shop, and there's like chaos going on. And I think it was also really hard for me to really picture where everything was in this book. I don't know if that was just me, but I felt very discombobulated. And I feel like I couldn't really, I don't know, I couldn't really focus on like where they were, or like what it looked like. Um, And so when she had her very first hot flash after getting hit in the head with the timepiece, I was like, okay. And then like the murder just happened, and there was a lot of like hitting on, and a lot of like different things like that. It just like I wasn't sure what was going on. Alicia, I listened to another AI narrated book, and it was better, but so was the story. This story was bad. Yeah, I feel like it just had so much potential. Um Gary has also given us some amazing, I like how he called them my rather mundane discussion questions. Um, what was your reaction to the tawdry descriptions of men and women by Billie? For example, hotties, teacher's pet, sweet stuff, fresh meat, eye candy, hot commodities, etc. That just annoyed me, and it made me feel like she was like a bully, or like one of the people that like led a clique like when she was in high school, or so it didn't seem mature. It didn't seem, I don't know, it did not befriend me to Billie as a character. Uh, yeah, I kind of felt like I needed a map and character list. It was a lot going on. Yes. Uh, she felt like a mean girl to me. I didn't like her. Yeah, and that's really, really hard whenever you are whenever you're trying to, you know, get to know a new character, and you can't find anything that you have like in common. It was so hard for me to read it. I was telling Gary, cuz he came to the Ashland Mystery Festival. Um I straight up told him, I if this wasn't book club book, and this wasn't the book club that I am running, I would have DNF'd the book. I would have been like, nope, done, not not gonna read it anymore. Um, I am very, like, salty that I had to put so much effort into reading this book, and that you had to put so much effort into reading this book. It was just very, very frustrating. Uh, Gary, the author went overboard on the language. It got distracting after a while. Yes, awful and annoying and so demeaning. I couldn't remember who was who among the young women, who all seemed after the same professor. Yeah, it was very weird. I felt like the author just doesn't like women in general very, very early into it. Yes, I cannot stand when women are demeaning to other women. One, I don't want anybody being demeaning to anyone, but like I am 100% a hype girl. I will hype you up. I will gas you up. I am your cheerleader. And I did not like how she just sort of, I don't know, like broke down the women, or trollop, or like those different types of things. I was just not a fan of. um it I don't know, it left a bad taste in my mouth. Um, what literary purpose was served by Billy's hot flash induced time travels or Meg's reappearance as a ghost? So I I actually loved um the idea of a hot flash actually causing her to travel in time. Uh I I thought that that was a very, very interesting concept because as someone who is constantly fighting hormones because I have Hashimoto's, and so, my thyroid, which controls your hormones in your body, is constantly going back and forth. So one minute I am absolutely freezing, and the next minute I am burning up, I am the Sahara. And so I thought that that was a very, very interesting concept, and I liked that premise. Um and I feel like they could have done something really done something really cool with it. Um, and then for Meg coming back as a ghost, again, I thought that that was cool, because I got really sad whenever I realized that, like, her niece lost her twin sister and everything, and so I thought that that paired well with the story and, like, the elements that they were trying to tell in the story, with it being a magical town and with, like, different things going on, for that, but I really it still was really, really hard for me to focus in on anything that was actually nifty in the book when I had so many other things that were distracting me. Goodreads ratings were really good. I just have to ask who these people are. Oh my gosh, yes. That was one of the things. Guys, I pride myself on going and reading books synopsises and reviews and different things like that. And this had 4 stars. It had a lot. And after I finished reading the book, I went back and I looked through people's ratings and I was just like, I don't even know, man. I don't even know. The ghost either needed to be a bigger character or they needed to have the characters process grief. I agreed. I agree. Hi Ivy. You're totally fine. You're totally fine. Let me know what did you think about the book? Or give me your Cleo Penelope's. The time travel and ghost behavior didn't reveal any clues or suspects to me. No, not at all. Um, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. Towards the end, I was at 2.5, 3 speed, so I was only catching probably every other word, to be honest. But I wanted the concepts to be so good. I wanted the concepts to be like there. I wanted more from it. Um, with the references to blood banks, blood brokering, bloody murders, and maternal blood, was this book too bloody for a cozy mystery? That's a good that's a good question. I think that we could have used more adjectives, uh more descriptors. I feel like it just seemed very, very repetitive. The idea of a blood bank was interesting, as a concept of the crimes that were going on. Um, I'm not quite sure how I feel about the professor who died, who was just sowing his seed in as many co-eds as possible to get their blood to then sell to the blood bank. I don't know, that just didn't seem very cozy to me. Like, I don't know. Alicia, that's a bloody good question, Gary. I bloody well didn't care for it. It came across as cheesy to me, felt like a theme town. Yes. 4 stars. Are they all AI reviews? This makes no sense. Seriously, I don't know. I was just reading through the reviews and I was like, am I I was so close to just messaging you guys on Patreon and going am I the only one who's not liking this book? Please, please, please tell me that I'm not the only one, because I was going to be so sad if I came on here and then everybody was like, "Courtney, this is a great book. Like, look at all the reviews." And then I was gonna be like questioning my whole entire, mental capacities. I DNF'd another book by this author. I just liked it so much. This one was better. It seemed like it was gonna be good, but it fell apart. Yeah. The town drink is a Bloody Mary. Yeah. I'm just like, come on, guys. Like, come on. Um, what vampire lore was altered or invented by the author to support the rumor that vampires in Glimmerspell were real? Um, the idea that they couldn't see the image in the mirror, that was something that I found interesting. Um, and then when like the sheriff or detective whatever was revealed himself to be a vampire, I thought that that was really really interesting. But then did they even discuss his son? Like, can he as a vampire procreate that way? I don't know. I don't know. Uh Oh, Ashley. Honestly, I wish you had DM'd me and said that you didn't like it. The only reason I finished it was for book club. Girl, me too. Me too. I was I was like, I have to do this. I have to do this for the fam. I have to do it. Um yeah, so it was a whole entire thing. Um Did you expect tall, dark, and brooding Elliot Greenly was a vampire or a werewolf, or that Vera was a vampire? I will say that I didn't expect Vera to be a vampire. Um, there had to be something with the sheriff, whether he was a werewolf or a fae or something. Like, he just kept being too, not blasé, but like, what's the word I'm looking for? He was so elusive, but it was an elusiveness that like, I just started questioning, like, he was like, "I know more about what's going on in this town than you think I do." And, "Oh, I mean, I it's gonna take me longer to tell you that the magic is real." And, like, I don't know. I also didn't like that aspect either. Uh, it was a stretch that vampires could live outside during the day. I agree. Um, both the sheriff and the detective are vampires. Okay, yes. I yes. I thought Elliot was a werewolf, very big and muscular. Honestly, I couldn't remember who Vera was, so I suspected nothing. Yes. Uh, it was such a good plot. Yeah, it was like it was so close to being there, and yet like so far away. Now that Elliot revealed himself, that he was a vampire to Billie, do you think that Billie will break off her relationship with him, or at least wear more turtlenecks on their dates? I love you so much, Gary. Um, I think that she is too much of a horn dog to let him go. Um, I think that they're gonna have that, Bella Edward Cullen relationship, um, you know, uh on and off again relationship kind of thing. At least that's what I feel like. She seems very flighty and very flaky and indecisive, and I think that it might turn into like a almost like a teenage drama. A vampire sparkly hot flash induced drama. Um But the execution was awful. The time trips were done so bad. I don't remember Vera either. Uh, oh, there's going to be awkward avoiding for one book until she learns how vampires eat or whatever needs to happen to feel safe. Yeah. For me, the best part was when Billie was telling her cheating husband, who names their child Harry Boob. That was funny. I agree, Michelle. Billie will turn out to be a goblin and they'll live happily ever after. Lol, she should definitely wear more turtlenecks, but she's not going to break off the relationship because she wants to sleep with him too much, to be frank. 100%. and with all of the girls that were like following, like that she met, and I mean they're all just gonna root for her to, do the deed with him as well. So I don't know. Guys, I don't think I have read such a ridiculous book in such a long time. And I can normally find, I don't normally like rank books very low because normally I don't finish the books that would rank low. Um, but it this one was really, really hard. And I am so glad that you went through it with me. Um, Misery loves company. And I'm so glad that we can all agree that it's not the best one we have ever read. Um, but it could, I don't know if it'll tie for like the worst that we've done in book club in the past 7 years. But yeah, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tired and so I'm extra honest. Let's No clue. Um but we were voting for the book club pick for November. And so November's theme was second chances. And so I kind of went with this theme from like back from the TBR graveyard kind of in my video. But we had three choices. There was Murder by Cheesecake, Death Among the Stitches, and Poison in Paddington. With an overwhelming 60% um 60% of you all voted for Murder by Cheesecake. This is the Golden Girls Cozy Mystery series. And here's the setup. When Dorothy's obnoxious date is found dead in a hotel freezer, it not only ruins a gorgeous cheesecake, but threatens the elaborate St. Olaf themed wedding Rose is hosting. Things are heating up, and not just because of Blanche's hot flashes. See, hot flashes are okay. Rose's cousin is eloping to Miami, and Rose is playing host. If she can't balance the groom's family's snobbery against the traditional St. Olaf wedding week guidelines, her hometown may never accept her cousin again. Dorothy quickly realizes she needs a date with whom she can exchange wedding related wisecracks. Turning a newfangled VHS dating service, she believes she's found an ideal conversationalist. Unfortunately, what looks good on TV can actually be a total jerk in real life. It seems she'll just have to enjoy the company of Sophia, Blanche, and whomever Blanche has targeted for a hookup. As the girls all pitch in, Rosie is thrilled that the tea and fish themed kickoff is perfect, not a herring out of place. That is until Dorothy's date is found dead, face planted in an otherwise scrumptious looking cheesecake. With every guest a suspect, especially Dorothy, and a marriage on the line, the four besties must ID the real killer, get the should be happy couple down the aisle, and make sure nobody from St. Olaf gets lost in the wilds of Miami. It's up to the Golden Girls to sleuth out a way for friendship and love to win the day. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Uh, so I'm very, very excited about that. The author has 346 distinct works on Goodreads. What? I don't even know what to say to that. I'm like I'm like happy over here that I got 2,000 words written last night on book 2 of uh literary stitches. Like I can't even imagine having that many. I'm actually going and looking at Goodreads right now because let's see, let's look at my goals. And here it is, view book details. Addison Moore is the author. And oh my goodness, Yeah. Holy moly. 346 distinct works. And her average rating for all of her books is 4.09. That is so many. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. It was certainly the most outlandish plot I've read in a while. It's fun sometimes to talk about bad books, so thank you. Agreed. Oh, honestly, maybe she's not a real person. Maybe the book is AI generated. That could be a thing. Seems like she's written thousands of not good books. The Golden Girls will always make it better. Yes. Yes, it will. 1,000,000%. You guys know how I feel about my feisty older ladies. I'm very, very, very excited for it. But yeah, I oh, she has a bunch on Amazon. Whatever you do, don't read any of the ones where she talks to ghosts if you think this was bad. Yeah, I think she's just gonna be a do not read author. Like, just not my vibe. Not my vibe. But I think I'm going to head off for the night. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me and chatting about this particular book. Um, Golden Girls is always going to be better. So I will see you guys on November 26th at 8 p.m. here on the channel. And until then, I'll chat with you guys in the comments. My sister, say hi, guys.
Hello, everybody.
She came over to put the boys down to bed, to put one of the boys down to bed so that I could do book club without feeling like I'm going to be late. Renee, that's your birthday! Yay! Yes. November 26th. We'll see you then. Good night, everyone. Have beautiful reading times.